First of all, can we thank Zane and Founders Advisors because they sponsored this whole event. They're the ones that put this whole thing on.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Zane has become a wonderful friend to me. Our mutual friend Luke Miner introduced us. Can you just tell the story of YouCaring, started up in Redding, 3 hours north in Shasta County? Tell the story of YouCaring, your involvement with them, the folks that you connected them with. Like, what do you do? Because if you're going to talk about the future of funding, what's the baseline for why you actually have a voice?
Thank y'all so much. And I will say y'all, and I talk kind of like this because I'm from the South, but what we do, we're an investment bank, and we help get growing technology companies capital. That's what we do. And we're passionate about that because I was an entrepreneur. I worked for IBM for 12 years. They ended up funding my company. I feel like I'm really old now. I think Michael Clifford and I are the oldest guys here. But I was funded by IBM, and I found out back then that capital makes a difference. And a lot of entrepreneurs do not know how to access the capital continuum, and that's very frustrating to me. So we're an investment bank that's basically a tour guide for tech growth companies. That's what we do. And Luke Miner here, I was blessed to meet Luke and his partner Brock Ketcher. I guess it's about 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. They had built an amazing company. I was doing a little pitch on the internet one time, did a little segment on the difference in a financial investor and a strategic buyer. Somehow Brock and Luke saw that video, gave me a call, and said, I really don't know about this company. Started looking at it. At that time, they were small, but they were growing amazingly fast. They were a cause-based fundraiser, online funding source. And we were very blessed, started working with them, underwrote their business. So we're securities licensed, so we underwrote their business, took it to a lot of strategic and financial potential partners, found a company here in San Francisco, Alpine Investors, which is right down there in Embarcadero. I don't know if it's that way or that way. Funded their company, and hopefully it's turned out good for Luke and Brock. It's been awesome, and they introduced me to you.
That's right. You were introduced to me for my software company. I got to be a very small part of something very grand. Kukui Corporation. I was very fortunate to be able to come into a man's life named Ryan Wilmot, this genius. I said, okay, you're the brain, I'm the mouth. Let's make magic happen, right? So we come together, and it was 2010. We started building this company, and of course it's spun, and it's been so exciting. We hit the Inc. list, number 76 in the nation recently, fastest growing company in San Jose. So Luke introduces the two of us. And so as you look toward funding today and in the future, like one thing that you're working on right now is just getting to know Kukui and the opportunity there. So talk a bit about that, right? Because that's what brought us together. And that's an active thing that you're working on right now.
Yeah, Kukui, again, they have the ingredients that are fundable. Y'all, one thing that frustrates me as an entrepreneur and as a banker is companies that just aren't ready. I see over and over entrepreneurs, and I had several discussions today with entrepreneurs here. They go out, they have their opportunity to raise capital, and they're not prepared. And therefore, they get discouraged because they get no after no after no. And anybody in here that's tried to raise money as a CEO, it can become a full-time job. Okay, so when I met Ian and his team at Kukui, they're growing very, very rapidly. They have over 1,500 customers that have, and they have this huge, most important thing called a high retention rate.
Huge.
If your customers keep buying your product, guess what? To an investor like me, that's very, very exciting. So retention is unbelievable. They're growing fast. So we looked at them. We're underwriting them right now. So if it's okay if I say this, I guess, so that we can go out and find the right strategic or financial partner. Y'all, there's more to capital than just money. You want value-added money. You want people that can put you in front of other people in partnerships. So it's going out and finding the right capital. So that's what we're doing right now. We'll be running an auction, going to the top potential partners, and hopefully find an unbelievable partner to help you to continue to grow the business. Also, the other key thing, a lot of entrepreneurs think, oh, when I raise capital or sell my company, I might not be involved anymore. Because if I raise capital from a very sophisticated investor, guess what they might want to do? replace the CEO, right? Get a better CEO, top grade the CEO, because talent's critical. What we found out, I've done about 104 institutional deals where we sold the company or we raised capital. And y'all listen, they want the CEOs. They want the team. People invest in the team. We just sold a company we can't announce yet to a very, very a wonderful company out here. It's a large publicly traded household name. Y'all, it was an acqui-hire. This huge company bought this team of gentlemen from the East Coast, from a very good university that had built something in artificial intelligence because they had compiled a culture and a team that this publicly traded company could not recreate, so they bought them. So what we saw in Kukui, what we saw in YouCaring, unbelievable talent, great product, great retention. They have a reason to exist. They're growing. The sexiest thing you can do as a company for investors is grow very fast.
That's right.
And then you've got to mitigate something. You've got to mitigate your risk. The way you do that is by having a great product, a great team, a competitive advantage. So that's what we saw in Kukui. Very excited about what you're doing.
Well, Luke Miner, myself, 100 other founding teams have trusted you. You're playing the long game. You have a massive, amazing team of very talented people. I am incredibly grateful that you've come into my life and into our business. We're going to do an event at the same space here, February 5th, 6th, and 7th. So on February 5th, 6th, and 7th, we're bringing your annual event, Silicon Y'all, which was one of my favorite things I've ever done. I was like, it was like I was just floating. I woke up at 6 a.m. and I went to bed at 2 a.m. I didn't need sleep.
You were partying.
I was the last one. I was the last one to bed every night. There's no doubt about it. And I just thought to myself, like, this has got to come to the West Coast. Like what you do, the community that you've cultivated, the private equity firms, the M&A people, the venture capitalists that you bring together with all the founders and their teams to make magic happen and bring people together. Like, we need this here. And so you and I start talking about this event. You're like, hey, I love the idea of the future of tech. I'll get behind it. I'll sponsor it. I'll make sure we'll take care of things. And it's why we have prizes, right? It's why we have food and drinks. And so we have all these different things that we're being able to give away because you paid for all that. Thank you so much for that. And we talk about this event, and then we talk about like, hey, where are we going? Why don't we bring Silicon Y'all here? Why don't we make a space for software as a service companies, for internet companies to come to where they can rub shoulders with the M&A people, the private equity firms, the venture capitalists. Now, the fact is, a lot of people in this room would love to be there. A lot of people in this room know people that need to be there. You have a massive list that we have to turn away. There's a very limited number of people that can make it. But that's one reason why we did this, was like practice for your big show. And of course, this is my thing I'm super passionate about, is optimism and bringing hope to people. Talk a bit about this event. I mean, really, this is your moment. Like, not everybody in this room is right. Not everybody on the live stream is right. But for the people that are the SaaS company that should be there, the internet company that should be there, they are growing. Their revenue is good. Their team is good. They're rocking. They're ready for a financial partner. They're ready for a strategic partner. Why should they be in this room? What are you going to provide for them? And why are you a safe person? And why have you built a safe company that they can trust?
Man, it's a good question. First of all, I want to say there are a lot of good bankers out there, okay? We're just tour guides. I would say as CEOs, I was a CEO, I sold 2 of my companies to publicly traded companies. And when I started doing this, I didn't understand what the capital continuum looked like. And so our passion as a bank now, I was on the board of this bank and ended up, after selling my last company, saying, man, this is what I want to do. I want to be a tour guide. We want to bring a different kind of culture in banking. Let's say that's more accessible. It is about financial engineering. It's about return on investment. But let me tell you, it's also, and I've heard this as a theme with everybody here, it's about community, it's about talent, it's about trust. And so our hope, being a Southern bank, we're in Birmingham, Alabama, and Dallas, Texas. Why in the world are we out here? Y'all, this is what's crazy. We do about half of our deals out on the West Coast. We're saying, why is that? And we figured out, being naturally bright like we are, I see I don't dress as cool as y'all, but sorry. Hey, this is coming back, though. This style's coming back. I promise, man. It is coming back, baby. One day you're going to get here. You're going to see. We believe you can add a human touch to banking.
That's so good.
Because at the end of the day, guess who does deals? People. People do deals. I sit in front of family offices almost every day, very wealthy families that now have CFOs, and they're putting their money back in entrepreneurs. And guess what they do? They invest in people. Now, you have to be prepared. Your business has to have a reason to exist. It has to have a good unit economic model. But at the end of the day, we want to bring the people, the culture, the feel back into banking. And we think the West Coast needs that a little bit. So that's the reason we're here. And we're grateful.
Zane, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for making this space. Thank you for providing the opportunity for me to actually make this dream come true. Thank you for serving these people. Thank you for the gifts that you're about to give away.